You may know our next guest is Morgan from VH1's Single Ladies, or is Denzel Washington's Woman in Spike Lee's Inside Man. Ooh.
And her latest film, Blue Caprice, hits theaters in September. Please welcome actress Cassandra Freeman.
Cassandra Freeman.
Thank you for having me.
First of all, everything.
Thank you.
The hair, the makeup, the orange, the skin.
I feel the same way about you. I'm like, good
thank
job.
you.
I tell women all the time, good job, keep going.
Keep going.
Well, good job. Keep going.
Keep going.
Okay.
And let's start off with keep going about your newest movie. This is exciting because the movie Blue Caprice centers around the Washington, D.C. sniper attacks of 2002. I mean, we remember this. It was 3 weeks on edge waiting for this person to get caught, and 10 people ended up getting killed. Now, what attracted you to this project?
Really what happened, well, the director is Alexander Morris, and he is brilliant.
Yes.
And I kid you not, there's a video he did along with Kanye West a few years ago called, what is it, Runaway?
Yeah.
The Runaway video.
Yeah.
And I watched that over and over again. Then I did research and I was like, did Stanley Kubrick come back to life? And then literally, out of the blue, I get an offer for this movie.
You're kidding.
And I started shaking. I told my agents, I was like, look, I'm not gonna even read it, just say yes.
Just say yes.
Because this is like a dream director I've wanted to work with. And then finally I read the script and I thought, thank God I'm not naked.
We'll get to that later.
That's the next film. Yeah, so that's how the project sort of came to me. And I loved the script because it wasn't really a documentary sort of movie. It was much more of like, let's just get into the mindset of this man. And you sort of like him at the beginning of the movie. And he's not an unlikable character. And I think that's what really drew me in as well after I said yes already. But really it's because of the director. He's brilliant.
Well, tell us about your character, Angela.
Yeah, Angela, she's a very vibrant woman, an independent woman. She lives on her own, and she's a woman from his past. And he basically comes back into her life to try to, at least from her perspective, to try to ignite what they had. But really, he's there for trifling reasons. And then trifling sort of mounts up to more tension. And then when I first read the script, I was like, oh my God, is she gonna die? Is she gonna live? And that's what you'll feel when you see the movie. You're like, is she gonna be the first of victims? So I don't want to say what happens, but I think,
no spoiler alerts.
But I love this character because she, as sexy and as brilliant as she is, she's very strong and she's a fighter.
Wow.
True.
Well, you also co-star alongside with Isaiah Washington. So what was it like working with him as well?
Isaiah, he is a massive amount of energy and talent. He's one of those people where by the end of the day, you are exhausted because
I know the feeling.
Right? Okay, he brings like his 100%. You know, the thing about that man, his brain is so brilliant. Like I know whatever movie you bring him to, it doesn't matter if it's written on the page or not, he will bring it to the next level. And that's what it was like to work with him. I remember between one of the takes, he's like, Cassie, we're gonna bring this to the next level or I'm gonna kill you. And I was like, okay, well, that's the way to
You're like, next
start this
level
scene.
or death? Which do I prefer?
Okay, we're gonna do that. But he was also just really funny and very loving. He's a very great, loving guy as well.
So you're what they call a triple threat: stage, film, television.
Oh, okay, good, because it's not dancing.
You can't bust a little move right now for us?
Oh, I can't, because this chair got some swivel. What?
Watch out.
Get it.
Chair dancing in the club. Yes, I know that. But,
Yeah.
So which do you prefer, actually?
All three are very different, but right now I'm really in love with TV. I think any actor who loves theater would love TV as well because it's the everydayness of it, the community of it. So right now TV for sure. I mean, I love doing Single Ladies. I love doing Single Ladies, and the team of Denise and Lisa Ray and Charity, like they're so awesome. And it's almost like a play because every day you get like a new script, so you get to sort of develop like this whole new idea of who you want to be and how you want to be in it. I love that.
It's a great time to be a black actress on the small screen, actually.
Honey, yeah, really, I think it's a great time to be black woman in almost everything. I mean, I know there's a lot of talk about, oh, there's not enough, but really, I feel like there's more now than there has been in probably forever and a day.
I think
and
so.
I'm happy to be alive during this generation, and I hope to be able to give more opportunities for more women of color at this point.
Okay.
Well, you're setting a wonderful path along the way as you're doing it. Especially, we saw you in Spike Lee's movie with Denzel Washington playing his leading lady.
Right.
What was it like working with those two Hollywood heavyweights?
Yes, you know, it was a surreal moment. That was my first film right out of grad school. I went to NYU for grad school, and literally like 2 weeks out of school.
So did I.
What? Hello.
Connection.
Oh, it's love.
I know.
Yeah, so that was my first film right out of school, and that was sort of I remember there was this, Mo Better Blues. I grew up watching that specific movie for some reason over and over again, and I would always want to pretend like I was his love interest, and anyone who knows me, I used to always be like, yes, Denzel's my boyfriend. Denzel's gonna be my boyfriend. So to get that movie, I was like, what?
Denzel's my boyfriend.
Right, and Spike and him both, it was like, Spike Lee is like an uncle to me. That's what it felt like. They were really great about bringing me on the set, even when I wasn't working. He was like, you need to know how this is all done. And together, they make such a great team. They're such a powerful team, and it was such a blessing to be a part of that specific film.
Well, what's the one thing or nugget that you learned from each of them? Because you've got this amazing director and this amazing Oscar award-winning actor right there. So it's basically like graduate school again.
Absolutely, yeah. I think the main thing is that no matter where you are in this, whether you're a legend or you're beginning, you can never skip process. And so process is process for everyone. And you know, even before we were on set, Denzel and I would meet and we'd talk about how we could flesh these characters out even more. Because on the page, they were a little dull. And he's like, we need to bring our soul. Like, we're vibrant people. People need to know what black couples like this do. And so all that happened on screen, none of that was really originally in the script. And that's what I really appreciated. And Spike Lee, he's someone who really trusts his actors. And so because of that, any director I work with, I'm always interested to see, like, how much are you interested in hearing what I have to say? Because Spike is all about that. He's like, what do you think? Okay, well, let's try it. I don't know. You know, this is your world now. And then it becomes like this collaborative effort. So that's the thing I really learned. You can't skip process.
You can't skip process.
So in that process, you were at sexy, hot, steamy scenes. And then the other process from the movie, I Think I Love My Wife, was all about comedy. So tell us how that process was, and what did you do to prepare for that type of scene? And how much fun was it working on set with such a funny guy?
Literally, it was like going to like play camp every day. And I mean, especially that movie, because it was all about trying to find jokes. And Chris Rock, he's just so awesome. That was a role that he pretty much offered too. He was like, listen, Spike says you're funny, so here, come play. And when we were on set, I'd crack jokes just as much as him, that afterwards I actually went out and started to do stand-up comedy. And I sort of fell in love with it, especially when I lived out in LA. Yeah.
You are funny.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're very quick-witted.
Thank you. I got jokes over here. My jokes were a little political as well. But yeah, Chris Rock sort of changed my life out of that movie, because he kept saying, he's like, no, you're funny. And I was like, no. And he's like, no, you're really funny. I was like, well, I'm gonna go see if I can make some money off this funny thing.
Yeah.
And so, but that movie was really fun to me. And Chris is still a good friend. I see him all the time.
So what's it like doing stand-up, actually?
You know what, to me.
Is it terrifying? I can't
No.
imagine just standing in front of a crowd and people being like, crickets.
I know. Well, you know, to me, it's no different than this, right? I feel like when I'm in front of an audience, I'm very relaxed, and also I can feel like, you know, which way they're going. And I feel like stand-up is for anyone who has something on their heart and you want to get it off of you.
Got you.
Right? And the thing is, I'm not a very depressing sort of person. Like, everything about me is sort of upbeat and witty. Yeah. So, like, I could tell you a sad story right now. Like, I would tell a story about my dad doing my hair when I was a little girl. Whoa. My dad raised me by himself. His name was Mac, M-A-C-K, Mac Freeman. He was. Ladies love Mac. But when he would do my hair, I remember he could never do my hair. And this is before the Jerry curl came out. And I remember one day he's like, don't worry, we're going to make you look like Tina Turner. And I knew that was code for, well, you're going to look like hell today.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah. But no, it's fine. I turned out okay.
We're going to make you look like Tina.
But you know, for a little girl, I'm like in 5th grade, I'm like, that is hell. No one's wearing their hair like this. Okay, Daddy.
Mad Max Thunderdome, Tina Turner.
Come on. Or my dad was like, no, you're going to wear this dress. I'm like, I've worn that dress already. He's like, well, Jesus wore the same thing every day.
Oh, wow.
I knew that meant we were poor.
Well, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, shout out to Mac.
Yes, shout out. Yeah, my dad passed away about 8 years ago, but for sure, he's everywhere.
Shout out to Mac.
Thank you.
Okay, your career took a more serious turn, though, and we just spoke about this before the show. I interviewed you for Kinyarwanda, and it was about the Rwandan genocide. How do you go from playing something, you know, as fun and lighthearted, like a Chris Rock film, to something so serious and sobering, like a film about genocide?
That's my heart, though, that movie. And I always wanted to have a role that took me to Africa, and I've always wanted to play a fighter. Like, I feel like I have like the heart of Sigourney Weaver. Like, I want to go in and save the day. And when I read this script, it's nothing, you know, that movie's not about, it's not like Hotel Rwanda, where it's like, we're just talking about the genocide. That movie was much more about how did life continue during the war. So people were still falling in love, people were still having relationship issues, and my character was a woman who was the head of the military there, the Rwandan Patriotic Front, and she's loosely based off of a real life hero there named Rose Kabuye, who I got to meet. And that role, I totally immersed myself into that. I mean, I was able to stay with a family there in Rwanda. I had my own mother and father and sisters and brothers. They taught me the language, which is Kinyarwanda. So it was very easy in a way because, you know, obviously to also be in Rwanda, everyone you talk to has a story of survival.
What was it like filming in Africa?
Well, we were there during locust season. So literally you open up your window and the window was covered in grasshoppers.
Oh, wow.
And it was also very hot. But the people that, I remember one night a woman takes me to her house. We're like, she was like, we're gonna fix you a traditional Rwandan dinner. I said, oh, awesome. And it's like fried chicken and sweet potato fries and green beans. And I'm like, well, welcome to Florida.
Traditional, huh?
Yeah, she's like, you have this where you're from? I'm like, all day we have this. And like the people there would be like, if they love you, they'll just take off their jewelry and they'll be like, here, this is for you.
Wow.
Like just so giving and loving everyone there. And actually when I got to Rwanda, the reason I got the role is that one of the producers there, they knew me. Literally, I got off the plane, people would have my face as their screensaver there.
Wow.
Right? It was so, God meant for me to be in Rwanda.
That's such a good story. I love it.
Yeah.
What else did you do to prepare for the part? Because it's a really deep movie, and especially your character, you're like the Martin Luther King of their time,
Right.
being there and doing that. I mean, I know you shaved your head for it, so what else was involved in your preparation?
You know, for every character, I do something different to get into the process of it or to get into the skin of the character. And, you know, interestingly enough, I don't know why, but there was a song from Rihanna. And you know that song, We're Gonna Run This Town Tonight, she did with Jay-Z.
Yeah.
I would listen to that song.
Best treadmill song ever.
Hello. It is because it has such a great pounding rhythm to it, but I also felt like it had this driving feeling of like you're never gonna stop, right? We're just gonna keep going, we're gonna keep going. And when I finally met Rose Kabuye, I just wanted to take in her energy. And when she first met me, she didn't recognize me because my hair was shaved off by then. I had on a traditional outfit of Rwandan character. And while we were there at dinner, her phone rang, and that was her sound, you know, that was her phone ring, was that Rwandan song. And I was like, are you joking? She's like, oh no, I love this song. This is like my rhythm. I'm like, no, that is my song. Right. And it was such a point of contention between me and the director, Alec Brown, who was brilliant, because he was like, you need to listen to something traditional. And I'm like, yeah, but it's not hitting me.
Right.
And it makes sense because it wasn't hitting her either. She and her whole family are very much into American music. So that really helped me. But also the way, as soon as I hit the set and the way the other Rwandan actors treated me, they would actually come up to me. They're like, you are Rose. Like you have her energy.
Her spirit.
And her spirit. And you know what, being around Rose, now the war is done, she is like me. Her hair is done, her makeup. She said every night when she was in that bush, she would think, when I'm done, I will have makeup and heels on every day.
Wow.
And she is a fashionista. Or there they say, you are very smart. You're very smart.
You're very smart.
Yes, yes.
Oh, well, you're very smart.
Thank you, thank you.
So speaking of fashion, you have a fashion blog.
Yes, a beauty blog. I do, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So why a blog and why about beauty and fashion?
Well, I have a great girlfriend. Her name's Mildred Almodovar. She's a writer over at Latina Cosmo. And we met maybe 3 or 4 years ago, and she is beautiful, and everything about her, you're like, keep doing it. And she felt the same way about me, and she was like, listen, come on over here and help me do some of this. And I was like, okay. And look, I'm all things makeup, all things fashion, but really, she and I are really into makeup and beauty regimen. Like, I love all things moisturized and all things bath and body. I'm all about what is luxurious, right, for the body and skin. So that's really what I do there. And that's how I got into it, just because of her. She and I are best friends because of this.
Really? So what are some of the things we can learn about on your blog or hear about?
Well, right now, I'm really into Shea Moisturizer. Have you heard about it? Listen, if you go, I feel like it's the best kept secret right now. Shea moisturizers, they have this one thing there called olive with avocado. You put it in your hand, it is so thick. It feels like mud, but it is clear. And they have something else, I think it's called like black lotion. Literally, you squeeze it out, it is black, and it just evaporates into your skin. I love that. But also Philosophy, anything from Philosophy. I just love it, because first of all, it's one of the few products you can actually keep out on your sink, and it only makes your sink more pretty, right?
It's true.
That's
Great
my favorite
packaging.
stuff. Thank you something for sure, right?
And you also, in addition to everything else, teach as well?
Yes.
How many jobs do you have? So
Well,
you take a bath, luxuriate, in your
right.
bath scrub, then you go to...
And you're like, where am I supposed to be today?
Right.
And then you're a professor? Okay.
Yeah.
We have a nonprofit.
Yes, okay.
Art project.
So walk us through everything you're doing
Yes.
quickly, and then take us to your next project, and then we have to let you go.
Okay, so real quick, Fordham University at Lincoln Center. Yeah, I work there in the theater department. I do a great class there called Collaboration, where I teach actors, directors, playwrights, and set designers how to collaborate. But it's really about how do you find inspiration, how do you not compromise, and how do you bring the best out of your team. It's a beautiful, inspiring class. And I teach a master MFA class in playwriting based on that same concept as well. It's a great class. And let's see, and then my nonprofit, I have a nonprofit called the Cassandra Arts Project, where it was this thing where I'd go back to Africa and work with the Peace Corps there with orphans of the genocide to teach them artistic leadership abilities, right? And this was an awesome thing. You can see me working with the girls on Vimeo. You can just put my name in or go to my Twitter account at Cassie Free. And I also work with women who worked on the border of the Congo in Changugu, women who are sex workers, who are looking to build basically with this co-op a new way to sort of work together, but as a team. And that was very life-changing for me as well. And yeah, so those are both those two things just on the top of my head. And then, yeah, my next thing coming out, I'm actually doing a thing with August Wilson next month. NPR is one of the big sponsors with Green Space, where we're doing the entire cycle of August Wilson.
You are kidding.
Yeah, so I did it a few years ago back at the Signature Stage,
Off-Broadway,
guitar.
yes,
Exactly.
absolutely, yes.
And so I'll be reprising my role as Ruby, but all sorts of people are coming out to redo their roles. Felicia Rashad, Taraji Henson is actually making her debut in August Wilson, but all the regular people, Kenny Leon, Miriam Clinton, it'll be a great thing. And I just finished a movie with Lanre Olabise called Somewhere in the Middle, which is bananas.
I've heard about that, actually.
Yes, yeah.
Someone was just talking about that on Facebook.
Well, because before Spike Lee, he was like one of the biggest people to get money as a non-celebrity to get his film, funded through Kickstarter. So that's where you probably heard about. But it's a brilliant script, and it's sort of like Kinyarwanda, how you have all these stories that are not connected, but then they become connected. But it's about relationships in New York, and my character has some sex issues. It's a very sexy, a very different role. Watch out. Watch out.
Okay, we'll be looking forward to all of that.
Yes, and you have to come back for that, please.
For sure, you're gonna love it. I can't wait.
Yay! Brains and beauty. I love it.
All
I love
the
it.
package.
Thank you. I'm gonna just live here.
You're welcome to stay, but we'll be right back. You're watching Arise Entertainment 360.